The bishop pair, owning both bishops at the same time, is worth more than simply having two three-point pieces on the board. Together they reach every square, light and dark, which means nothing on the board is ever safely out of their combined reach. Strong players have understood this for well over a century. Capablanca built entire endgame strategies around holding onto both bishops rather than trading one away early. Give one up for a knight, and the position doesn't stay balanced, even though the piece count says it should. The remaining lone bishop loses half its purpose, since it can only ever influence one color of square, while the opponent's minor pieces work together to control the other color freely. The bad bishop. A bishop trapped behind its own pawns is a very different piece from the one described a moment ago. This happens when a player's pawn chain sits on the same color square as their bishop, boxing it in and leaving it with almost nowhere useful to move. It shows up most often in closed positions, where the center has locked and neither side can easily open lines. A knight in that same position tends to thrive, since it can hop over pawns rather than being blocked by them. The knight on the rim. Sitting a knight on the edge of the board, on a square like a 3 or h6, cuts its movement down to a handful of options at best. Move that same knight to the center, onto d5 or e4, and its reach nearly doubles, often threatening 2 or 3 pieces at once from a single square. Old chess teachers used to repeat a short saying about this: a knight on the rim is dim, because generations of beginners kept making the same mistake of parking their knights on the edge for safety. The piece never changes value in theory, but where it stands changes what it can actually accomplish almost completely. The exchange sacrifice, giving up a rook worth 5 points in exchange for a bishop or knight worth 3, looks like a straightforward loss of material on a scoreboard. A rook stuck behind a wall of its own pawns, unable to find an open file, contributes very little to a position. A knight sitting untouchable in the center, supported and permanently active, can easily outweigh the 2 extra points the rook was supposedly worth. The sacrifice only makes sense once you stop counting points and start counting influence. The passed pawn on the 7th rank. A pawn one step from promotion stops behaving like a pawn at all. Every other rule about pawns being the weakest unit on the board falls away once it reaches this point, because now an entire piece, sometimes an entire rook, has to be permanently assigned just to stop it from becoming a queen. Endgames are frequently decided by exactly this kind of pawn, tying down far more powerful pieces simply through the threat of what happens if nobody stops it. A pawn buried on its starting rank and a pawn 1 square from promotion share the same label, but they are nowhere close to the same value.